Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Age of Empires 3, or more to the point, welcome back to Patagonia. That map seems to be coming up quite often in my quick search, or matchmaking, whatever you want to call it. Anyway, playing some Spain today. Spain, one of my favourite civilizations, and definitely suits my playstyle very, very well. I want to get my rank all the way back up to level 29 Major, which was where I left off before it started to decay, since I had not played a few games in a while. Definitely getting back into Age of Empires 3 and enjoying it so much. Has always been one of my favourite games, and probably always will be, at least until Age of Empires 4 comes out. Anyway, we can always speculate. So I have, so far, posted 2 videos of me playing Age of Empires 3 with 2 different styles of commentary. The first was exactly what I'm doing right now, which is post-game commentary, where I basically talk over a recording of me playing. And the second is where I played the game and talked to you at the very same time. Now, both went down quite well. The first definitely more so than the second, and I think that is because, well, when I'm talking to myself and playing the game, the commentary suffers, right? I'm playing the game, I'm not going to be quite as focused, and I think it might not be quite as enjoyable. But then people said that they liked the idea that they could hear what I was thinking whilst I was playing the game, and then that kind of made what I was doing in the game, they could see why I was doing it. Like, all of the small things became very apparent, and perhaps it was more easy to understand my decision making. But with the first trial video, the commentary is just going to be more polished. It's going to be more focused. So what I want to do is this. I want to have a third trial video, which is this video here, and I'm gonna try and get the best of both worlds by, of course, talking over a recording. So I'm, of course, much more focused, but at the same time I want to try and be in the game a bit more. I want to be talking about exactly what I am doing in that moment and why. And I still will go off and perhaps talk about other things. I'm just going to be perhaps a little less detailed than I might otherwise would be, and I guess your job here is to tell me what you prefer. Do you prefer what I'm about to show you in this video, or shall I just stick to the very first trial video, the commentary, the style of commentary was presented there? Should I do that, or perhaps a mixture of this and the first one? Who knows? Just let me know what you think. Anyway, in the game just a moment ago, you would have seen my opponent's explorer going in for a treasure, and I thought I might be able to steal it, but it became apparent that that would not be the case, since his explorer was much closer to it than mine. And then, after that, I thought, oh dear, he might be able to kill my explorer, because if he gets into hand combat with me, then he'd be able to slow me down, and then his explorer has a lot more HP than mine, and mine might go down, since I would not be able to escape. Here, though, sending my war dog at my opponent's explorer there, because, I mean, yes, I could try and escape, but if I tried to escape, he'd probably shoot me on the way out, and I would probably lose my war dog. I used my war dog to gain, to kill a treasure guardian very early on and get myself like 30 XP, and it's kind of questionable if that was worth it or not, since really I might not have lost the war dog if I hadn't lost those hit points, but I decided to send the war dog at him and, you know, lose it anyway, but still get off a few shots. My explorer, though, has lower hit points than my opponent's explorer, because I saw a 70 food treasure and went for that, which was ideal. 70 food certainly going to help me age up a little bit quicker to the colonial age, and then I can send that 700 coin the moment I hit up to the colonial age, so that I can therefore receive that sooner and get a faster fortress time. Of course, I'm going for a fast fortress. Anyway, switch my settlers from food to wood the moment I hit up to the, well, as soon as I click the button, essentially. Wanted to get 250 wood, did exactly that, now sending my explorer back to build that trading post. Ideally, though, I would already be building the trading post. I would start to construct it the moment I got 250 wood, but here did not send my explorer back, perhaps as quickly as I would have liked to. Now, that was the concern. I didn't want to lose my explorer because I wanted to build a trading post, and you do need your explorer to be alive whilst doing that. If my explorer was dead, that certainly delays the trading post by quite a lot. Here, though, it's kind of a little bit delayed. I didn't get it up as quickly as I would have liked to, and maybe I'll miss out on an extra batch of experience points that I otherwise would have had. I mean, I could have built the trading post perhaps on the other side of the map where my explorer was, because those are closer to him. They are in my opponent's side of the map, though, and that is the issue there. I don't want to build them. They're less easy to defend. I mean, more easy. No, yes, less easy to defend. It's harder to defend them, so building one in my base certainly easier to defend. Just hit up here with a tower and 200 coin. We'll talk about the tower in a moment, but 200 coin there. Just checking my opponent's deck. I see Fast Fortress. That's the first thing I think, and I need not see any more of the deck because I have already kind of decided what he's going to do. I will try and confirm that with my explorer, though, but collected 100 coin there of my settlers now, putting the 2 settlers that were on the coin mine back onto food and gathering up that 200 coin. So I have 300 coin exactly, and 700 coin, which is on the way there. That's 1,000 coin, all I need for the age up. Now, sometimes you start with coin. In this case, I did not. I started with an extra wood crate instead, which is actually ideal because the wood, you know, helps me build the trading post a little bit sooner, and it means I collect less wood, and that's always nice. Wood is the slowest gathering resource. So, if you do start with coin, though, you do not need to start. You do not need to collect any coin because you already have it. It just means you collect a bit more wood, swings and roundabouts, really. But here, the coin, the 700 coin, has arrived, and I'm going to collect that up there, but not with a super large amount of settlers. I really don't need to, because by the time that, you know, I'm still going to get all of that coin up into my inventory before I get 1,200 food, so it's not going to make any difference on my age up speed. Here they're going up with 8 pikemen, just getting it in queue there as quickly as I can. Now 8 pikemen, certainly going to be quite useful because I'm going up against a fast fortress here, in my opinion. I'm scouting him here, and I'm pretty sure it is a fast fortress. I see 700 coin on the floor, that literally confirms my suspicions here. Getting attacked by 2 Yulans, which is frustrating, so I'm going to attack the coyote here, and I don't know if you've played League of Legends, but it's the best analogy. If you kill a minion, the last person to kill it gets the coins, and in Age of Empires 3, if you kill a treasure guardian, well, if something kills you, whoever gets the last shot off gets the XP. So if Mother Nature is the last one to do damage to me, therefore Mother Nature would get the XP and he would not, which is, you know, I'm denying him that XP, which is nice. So, I'm about to place down this rather curious outpost wagon, and we'll talk more about that in a moment, but scouted my opponent, of course, built that trading post, sent my explorer right through my opponent's base, because I wanted to know what he was up to, saw the coin, that confirms what I'm up to, well, what he's up to, more to the point, but really not ideal, because if you're going to scout Germany, it's best to do it the moment they hit up. You know, go have a look at what they're up to. If you see 500 food on the floor, plus that deck that I saw, you pretty much go, yeah, he's doing a fast fortress. If you see 400 wood on the floor, then you could probably assume a colonial. But you don't want to do it after that, because as soon as they receive their first shipment, they get 2 Yulans absolutely free, and as you can see, my explorer died to those 2 Yulans. And yeah, so if my war dog was still alive, then I could scout him with the war dog, and that would just be a lot meh. So I lost my war dog, that was not good. But here, yeah, sending 7 red arrows. And that is why I've put down this forward outpost. It's going to act as a forward spawn point. Yes, putting up a barracks over there as well. Going to be very aggressive this game. I know he's doing a fast fortress, so in response I can have a super aggressive fast fortress. I do not need that that tower to defend. Yeah, though my resource distribution, a lot more on coin than on food, and that is because I have a lot of food in my inventory. I did that purposefully though, because I was not putting the barracks in my town, it would not be up as quickly, and normally I'd train perhaps 5 up to 10 Rodelleros during transition. Because, why not? Then I'd have lots of anti-cavalry, and then my first shipment, as you can see here, would be 2 cannons. Here I don't have, you know, I'd have kind of like 10 less Rodelleros, since, of course, I put the barracks up in my, near my opponent with that forward tower, meaning it didn't get up quite as quickly. But, to kind of counteract that, collected a lot more food purposefully, as I was saying, so that I could train some war dogs here, and they can kind of take the place of the Rodelleros. But yeah, sent the Rodelleros, the 7 ones that is, a little bit late. Could have sent them a bit sooner, meaning those 2 cannons could be sent sooner, but, you know, it doesn't really matter too much. They'll still arrive very, very quickly. This is a very good fortress time. A lot of players will get there in about 7 minutes 30 if everything goes perfectly. I believe I got there just under 7:30, which is a really solid fortress age time, and the 2 cannons are out here really quite quickly, and I'm going to be super aggressive with these. I have a huge amount of anti-cavalry. Of course, I shipped some in the colonial age. And here we go, I can start to use these cannons right away. If you don't have the anti-cavalry to protect cannons, really not worth sending them. But yeah, second batch of skirmishes out here, and I'm going to say I'm a little bit rusty. Really, I should be, 1, sending those skirmishes into my army, and 2, looking at the cavalry that are in my base, killing my units. This is, by what I mean rusty, is still, I know exactly what I'm doing, but it's these things like being attacked by cavalry in your base. It's the absolute death of me. It went down, I believe, from 19 or perhaps 18 settlers to 15. That's really not ideal in the slightest here. Also, the mistakes I'm making are, my infantry are too far forward. They're taking shots from the skirmishers there, which isn't good. I'd ideally keep them behind the cannons. Therefore, if his skirmishers were to come anywhere near my anti-cavalry, then they would take blasts from the cannons here. Now that that's over, I've killed both of his barracks and his forward stable. I'm in a very strong position here to go ahead and win this game. But that cannon is taking damage from his town centre, and rightfully so. That's how he's going to get rid of it, as Germany. They do not have cannons of their own, which makes it a little bit difficult for him. I really wish I'd gone back You see, I have 12 pikemen have just arrived. If I marched back towards the tower and waited for the 12 pikemen to arrive, and perhaps added in those 5 skirmishers to my army sooner, then I'd be in a much stronger position. But here, the cavalry are just not near the cannon, and you can see me spamming taunt 2 in the game. I lose both the cannons almost needlessly. The first one went down to town centre 5. I could have saved it if I'd brought them both back sooner, and then the second one just noobing around, and I was not protecting that cannon, and I go from a very strong position to a very, very vulnerable one indeed, because having that much anti-cavalry and no cannons to protect them with basically makes my infantry pointless. And I've been losing skirmishers as well. I've been noobing around with those. Ideally I'd have 15 skirmishers. I believe I've trained 3 batches of skirms right now. I should have 15 skirmishers. You know, I might have lost 1 or 2 to perhaps his skirmishers, but really should be much more skirmishers there for the anti-cavalry to protect. Sending 5 lancers now because I need some kind of anti-infantry potential. I've lost my cannons, I don't have that anymore, and lancers are really what's going to save me here. And here I come in to siege down the kind of houses with the pikemen because they have a lot of siege damage. I find a use for them, but at the same time, you think about it, the houses are only worth 100 wood. Each pikeman is worth 80 resources, and I'm losing an absolute ton of them. It's not worth it. What I'm doing right now is not what I should be doing. I should be waiting for the 5 lancers to arrive before pushing this at all. So, if you are a perceptive viewer, you will have noticed my settlers have gone from 15 to 10, and that is because he has sent his cavalry into my base, but at this moment in the game I did not realise. So I went from quite a reasonable Spanish economy to really quite a worthless economy, and that is also a huge problem. Gonna blame that on me being rusty. Things like that, things like me not noticing the attack alarm or units in my base or the mini-map, just that's what I mean by rusty, what I'm doing here, or perhaps being a little bit sloppy with build orders and things. But yeah, I'm now pushing in with 5 lancers, and rightfully so. That's what I was waiting for. Skirmishers, sorry, lancers, certainly going to do a lot of damage to his skirmishers. I have anti-cavalry to protect lancers, I guess, from the cavalry there, his cavalry. But I should not have pushed him earlier. You know, when I had all of those pikemen and lost them all because I was sieging down houses and shit. Should have waited for the 5 lancers to arrive before pushing back in again. I mean, then when the lancers arrive, I'd push out, and that's what I did. I pushed out when the lancers arrived, but I lost too many pikemen, and therefore he was quite easily able to defend it here. And let's be honest, I'm on a 10 settler economy, now 11 since I have trained 1. I have a very small army. The cannons, losing those was I would have gone ahead and won that game, I think, if the cannons if I'd used them properly and did the things that I said I should have done, and also if I had not lost that economy. If I was sitting on, I believe I was sitting on a 19 settler economy before I started to lose them to raids, and here at this point in the game I'm feeling it, and I'm just thinking to myself, what is the point? So basically what I'm waiting for is those 9 Rodellos. When they arrive, that's essentially 900 resources, that's 9 score points. That'll pop my score up by 9, and now that they're here, I'm just like, cool, score's gone up by 9, I don't look like I'm in such a bad position as I was. It's slightly less embarrassing, and I guess it's some sort of kind of pride issue, but as soon as they arrive, I resign. And that is it. Look at his army there. Not gonna happen. I have some post-game graphs to show you, if you would like to stick around for that, but thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, let me know what you think, as I mentioned earlier. And if it gets a good response, certainly I'll be making more of these. Really am enjoying playing this game properly, playing it myself once more, and making videos about it whilst doing so really isn't too much of an issue for me. But let's take a look at these post-game graphs here. Villager count, you can see 2 absolutely huge losses. Went from 19 settlers there down to 15, and then I don't know what on the second time round, but that is certainly one of the biggest factors in losing the game here, I would say. Aside from losing those cannons, that's also quite influential. But let's take a look at villager population. This is a more accurate indication of our settler count, because his settlers, well, they cost 1 population each, but his settler wagons cost 2 population, but on the original graph only counted as 1. So yeah, all resources gathered, very, very even. I'm mostly ahead, and if I'd kept those settlers, imagine where I'd be. Certainly would have been in a stronger position. Here's the score, and me, I'm essentially leading in terms of score the entire game, just up until a few minutes after the Fortress Age, and that's where it really starts to spiral out of my favour. But yep, here's the water. Certainly now that I can use these full graphics settings, showing off the graphical fidelity of Age of Empires 3 water. Hope you like it. Here's my medals and my stats. But I guess I'll wrap it up here. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. My name has been Interjection, and I will see you next time.